sound. We're racing in MotoGP here in Indonesia, not the launch away from the head of that second row. The Pecco Bagnaia ones. It is Ducati stutters away from that fourth place. It's Jorge Martin though that is that leads. Great start by Enea Bastianini. He's running up into second place ahead of Pedro Acosta. Bagnaia though has recovered up into fourth.
Yeah, his start wasn't as bad as Marco Bezzecchi, who's behind him in fifth. I thought I saw Bagnaia slightly rocking in his box as we got a 3-4 rider crash in the back. We've got a KTM down, Alex Marquez, and a Aleix Espargaro down there too.
It does tighten up and Constantino through that turn 2, turn 3 section. That's a fourth clash of the weekend for poor old Alex Marquez. What a miserable weekend it's been for him in Mandalika. Back at the front then, it's Martin who once again has made the dream launch. Aleix Espargaro is the fourth clash of the weekend for Aleix, his 250th Grand Prix start. Acosta thought about flinging the KTM machine up on the inside of Bastianini into turn 10. Jack Miller and Luca Marini also involved in that big melee on lap 1.
Marquez update, he's in his 7th place, so it is progress on the first lap from 12th on the grid, but not quite to the extent that we saw from him yesterday. He's behind, he's second in the Pramac Ducatis of Frankie Morbidelli.
You feel in terms of his prospects of winning this Grand Prix, it's imperative, vital that Bastianini keeps Acosta at bay here. This is the remains, the aftermath of that chaotic first sector on lap 1. Looks like all the rides are moving away. Coming from a long way back there, wasn't it? Was
two going past Bagnaia, Bezzecchi and Morbidelli both passing Bagnaia.
This is going to be a replay then of what's been an incident on lap 1 that's caught in or involved 4 riders. There's Oliver Miller, Jack Miller on the inside. Looked like he just locked the front down that chain direction then. Wrong place, wrong time. Marquez and the Gian Antonio slugging out with each other going through turn 11. That all started on the entry for turn 10, but the beast on Friday said even when we've got track temperature over 60 degrees with the medium rear tyre, you have to wait 2 or 3 laps for it to properly come in. You just wonder whether that is a factor in the early part of this Grand Prix right now.
Well, Jorge Martin said earlier in the year what he was missing relative to Bagnaia as Acosta now does go through on Bastianini to second place. Martin felt he was missing that confidence in the early stage of the race relative to Bagnaia. Martin certainly is the one with confidence at this stage. His lead is now over a second. Jorge Martin from last year will not be resting on his laurels at any stage here, even with a lead of 1.5 seconds on lap 5 of 27. Here comes Morbidelli then, and Bastianini is not going to be able to take that Ducati in from there, and he rather easily loses third place.
Well, Acosta gapped him straight away. Once Pedro Acosta got through, just started taking big chunks of time out of Bastianini, and that Frankie Morbidelli eases on through. Bezzecchi's going to make a move soon on Bastianini. He's closing up through the fast left-handers of turn 12 and turn 13. Gian Antonio, how much longer can he sustain this pace? Oh, that's close. Bezzecchi knows he's faster. He'll be able to see that Bastianini's suffering with that medium rear tyre at the moment. It's going to be curious to see how long Gian Antonio can run his kind of pace with the soft front and soft rear tyre. He's now at the back of that train, still in 8th place. He's got a big gap of over 2 seconds back to Brad Binder. Pedro Acosta, what a lap that is from Acosta. Fastest at the Grand Prix so far, 131.015.
Oh, it looked like just ahead of us there was a move coming. There's a move certainly coming from Marquez on Pecco Bagnaia. Gian Antonio might well get himself involved. These are the 3 riders next year that are going to be on 2025 Spec Ducatis. And Gian Antonio fancies a rematch with Marquez. He moves through into 7th place.
That was a lovely move by Gian Antonio. There was not a lot of room there, but he made it work on the inside of Marquez. Not many riders that have gone through, and Marquez going through turn 2. Gian Antonio though, just a quick reminder, is the only rider that's got the soft front, soft rear combination, so he will have very good grip levels at this phase of the Grand Prix. He'll be full of confidence. It's just how much he can run this pace as Bezzecchi finally does find a way through on the fast fading Enea Bastianini. This is just not going to plan A, is it, at all for the beast?
Antonio once again on the inside of Pecco Bagnaia, so in the space of 3 corners, both factory Ducatis passed by the VR46 machines.
Yeah, he got it wrong though, charging in hot on Bagnaia, going through 13, lost him all his momentum as they attacked through 14, and that has allowed Bagnaia and Marquez to sweep through on the attack. He's got to do all the hard work all over again. Marquez and Fabio Di Antonio are going to be swapping paintwork around this Mandalika circuit. The Gian Antonio surely can't keep himself in the hunt here as he lunges on the inside of Marquez going through turn 12. Marquez says no, you know, I mean, that's 3 successive corners now that these two have swapped overtakes. It looks fantastic, it's a great show, but it's not doing them any good to try and get themselves back in this battle for the top 6.
I don't suppose it's the recommended use of a soft front, soft rear tyre. Right, there is the Gian Antonio again, just marches Marquez out
nothing between Martin and Acosta's lap times. They both exchange 1:31.0s as we go halfway around this lap 9 of 27. Still 18 and a half laps remaining.
Morbidelli's there. Oh, that's a crash in the background.
Mr.
Gian Antonio. We're never going to find out how far that soft rear tyre would have made it into this race. Gian Antonio's down, a third race in.
Marc Marquez has got a problem. He's not fallen. This is a technical issue.
Oh, it's on fire. Get off it, Mark.
Got to jump off that one. He won't realise this. He's going to get a very, very hot right boot right now, and he'll be jumping off that Jeep quickly. So Marc Marquez, as smoke billows out of the belly pan, he's trying to get the marshals to get the fire extinguisher out. Frankie Carcetti slumps into his Marquez. He's just thrown on the floor.
Yeah, you heard it go there as he went up to fourth gear. You can hear not a lot from the onboard audio of Marc Marquez because the bike is no longer running. Pedro Acosta is doing at the moment in this race. He's running in second place. Everyone else in the top 6 are on board Ducatis, including the Bastianini, who are riding on board, but is now moving up into fourth place at the expense of Marco Bezzecchi. The next non-Ducati is Brad Binder in 7th.
Morbidelli, Bastianini and Bezzecchi behind him dip back into the 1:31s. Bagnaia has done a 1:30.8 himself as Bastianini tries to pick up the better drive grip. He's going to lunge on the inside of Morbidelli into turn 2. If he's got any hopes of winning this Grand Prix, he had to make that move as Morbidelli tries to tough it out, and it's a successful battle this. Look at Morbidelli, they lead on each other, the two Italians through turn 3. Bastianini on the inside. Morbidelli is not giving this one up at all. Look at that from Morbidelli. Bastianini has got the inside line, finally then through 12, the beast goes.
Martin's had a scruffy lap by the looks of it, or Pedro Acosta's up to one of the two. We'll find out over the line. The gap has almost halved. It's down to 0.6 of a second. In fact, under that now is a second or so when the lap began. So is Pedro Acosta beginning to sniff that potential first MotoGP win? Martin will now be able to really feel and hear the gas KTM closing up behind him. 10 laps remaining. Martin's pace dropped off to a 31.5 last time around.
This has been an unbelievable ride, hasn't it, by Acosta, and an unbelievable ride by Jorge Martin, showing that the mental strength, the mental character that you need to win a MotoGP World Championship after the crushing disappointment of his sprint exit on the first lap yesterday. This has been some answer, hasn't it, from Martin. Over the line he goes. He's still leading by just under a 1/10 of a second. Bastianini, 1:30.658 is his best lap of the Grand Prix. Now that was 0.6 of a second faster than Pedro Acosta ahead of him. Now he's got 9 laps remaining here, so it's going to be all eyes on number 23, isn't it, as he tries to claw himself, the beast, clawing himself back into contention potentially here. Now Bez finally, well, he thought about it at turn 10. He's going to run in hot though now at 12, and Morbidelli will just ease back onto the normal racing line as Bagnaia shows Bezzecchi his front tyre going through 13. Acosta's
starting to lose a little bit of touch with Martin. That gap's going back out to over a second again. His teammate Augusto Fernandez has stopped as Bastianini sets a 30.539. Martin and Acosta did respond. They were back into the
he's now down. It's too much. The pace too hot for Bastianini to handle. Down he goes. Well, what, seconds after he set the fastest lap of the Grand Prix, a 1:30.539. Just when we were thinking, and Cruci just when he was thinking, I can win this Mandalika Grand Prix. He eats a load of dust at the first corner, and surely now we are down to a 2-horse race in the MotoGP World Championship. So now, this fight between Morbidelli, Bezzecchi and Bagnaia is for third place, and these are huge World Championship points, aren't they, for the number 1.
Yeah, he really needs to go past his very good friends from the VR46 Academy here. He's not going to get any help from them, of course, in this Grand Prix, but Bagnaia will take 16 points. He can get up into third place. He's currently on target for 11 for 5th place. Of course, he gains a point, not that he would have wanted to gain in that fashion, from an Bastianini's crash out of third place. Further back, we've got Fabio Quartararo also going very, very quickly. He's in the 130s at the moment, wondering what happened to him in the early stages. He's closing in on Maverick Vinales, but this is the key battle on track now, with just over 5.5 laps to go, as Bagnaia is gifted 4th place by Marco Bezzecchi.
Bagnaia sweeps on through, on the run to turn 10. Morbidelli and Bezzecchi have put up such a resolute fight, haven't they? They've done the awesome to keep themselves in the pony battle with the Sofro tyre. It's been a gamble that has paid off for them. Head in hands, and now Bastianini just pushing too much. Look at those lap times. Absolutely brilliant pace, brilliant consistency, and this is an emphatic response to his sprint spill yesterday, isn't it? As Jorge Martin looks to reassert his authority on this year's MotoGP World Championship. Bagnaia, third place. There's a front fender on there.
It's off a Yamaha.
Yeah,
look out, some monster on it.
Yeah, so somebody's lost a bit of bodywork, and that final corner. 2 laps to go then here in Mandalika, and it is Jorge Martin on course for one of his biggest wins of the season. He'll be 21 points clear of Pecco Bagnaia. He will be taking 9 out of the reigning world champion after yesterday's sprint success for the factory Ducati rider.
Jorge Martin will know all too well that he hasn't won on a Sunday since the French Grand Prix of Le Mans in May. He has, of course, led the World Championship pretty much since then. Of course, Bagnaia did have a brief spell in front of him after his crash at the Sachsenring, but generally speaking, Martin has had the edge in this title battle for the last few months, but hasn't done as much winning as he would like. And of course, given what happened to him here last year, he will not be resting on anything, even at this late stage.
Last lap then underway here in Mandalika. Jorge Martin 2 seconds clear of Acosta in second place. Big gap then back to Bagnaia, who looks like he will rescue third after a difficult first third of this Grand Prix in Indonesia. Frankie Morbidelli a brilliant 4th place. Bezzecchi 5th. Vinales will be 6th. Quartararo ahead of his fellow Frenchman Johan Zarco, who's on course for his first top 10 for LCR Honda. He crashed out in Mandalika in 2022. He crashed out in Mandalika in 2023. He crashed out of the Mandalika sprint here yesterday. But for the very first time in Indonesia, it is Jorge Martin with a masterclass. He is the master of Mandalika, and he seizes back control of this year's MotoGP World Championship. Vamos is the message on the 89's pit board. Come on, Prima Pramac Racing say, as he takes a monumental victory in this year's MotoGP battle. Wow.